Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. I'm in the kitchen today. Surprise, surprise. And I'm going to make something for you. The purpose of this is to encourage you to stop and think about what you really have in the house. What do you have to eat? What do you have that you can make a meal out of? It may be simpler than you think. And not just a meal for you alone, not just one meal, but many meals, or a meal that is large enough to feed quite a few people, to feed your family. So stick with me and I will show you, and you can tell me what you think in the comments. I hope you do get something from this. It's not a recipe. It's simply, let's use what we have to feed ourselves and to feed others. Thanks for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, and share. It would help me out, and it just might help somebody else. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. What do we have here? We have a piece of chicken. This is chicken I purchased a while back on sale. It was purchased for $3.99. It was pre-frozen, and it the bag was 2.5 pounds, just under 3 pounds of chicken. Now, it's a chicken breast, not a whole one by any means. It's thin, certainly. It says on the bag for quick cooking. But here is the thing. Oh, and I'm sorry, it's still partially frozen. Now then, I was thinking about this chicken. I used part of the bag of chicken for a meal. My youngest daughter was here for the weekend and she asked for chicken and noodles, which I made, so I used part of the bag of chicken for that. But I was looking at this piece of chicken and I thought, you know what? I could eat this piece of chicken and have one meal, and that would be it. Or I could use this piece of chicken and make some soup and have several meals. So I thought, well, I think I'm going to make some soup. Now, sometimes that's the choice. You can look at something, especially when times are lean, and you can look at what you have and say, that's not enough for everyone. It's not enough for my family. It's not enough. But if we look at it differently, it can be enough. We just need to look at what we have in the house, see what's in the pantry, and figure it out. So today I'm going to make some soup, and I'm going to use this one piece of chicken. So let's see what I have to add to this chicken to make a pot of soup. Everything you see here is what is going into the soup. I diced the chicken, which is still partially frozen. I have a can of chicken broth, home canned. This is from my pantry. Actually, this was canned this year. I've got a can of stewed tomatoes from the pantry. I have a jar of navy beans, home canned last year, and a jar of Great Northern beans, home canned last year as well. I've got a bag of frozen onions and peppers, and a bag of frozen onion and celery. These are the things that are going into the soup, along with salt and pepper. So let's get started, and we're going to see how good this turns out. Okay, I've got my chicken broth here, but you see there's a layer of fat. So instead of using extra fat, I'm just going to use this fat that's on top of the broth to start sauteing my vegetables. This is going to add a lot of good flavor, and I don't have to add any other fat. Now this may splatter a little bit because there is some broth, there's some liquid in it, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm putting 1/3 of a cup of the frozen onions and peppers in the chicken fat. I take it back, I think this is 1/2 cup, and I'm going to put 1/2 cup of the onions and celery in the chicken fat. I forgot that I wanted to add carrots, so I took out some carrots and chopped them really quick. Those are going. And now I'm going to add some seasoning in here because we need some. Put some salt. Pepper. Some garlic. Everything is to taste. And some chili powder. I turn my heat down a little bit. Now I'm going to add the chicken. Which is still frozen. Alright, our chicken is coming along, so I'm going to add a can of stewed tomatoes. Now here's the thing about stewed tomatoes. You notice they're not diced, they're large. So as this cooks down, I will be able to take my wooden spoon and break them up. See, just a minute in the pan and they're already starting to break up. I'm able to break them up with a wooden spoon. I don't mind large chunks of tomatoes. If that's an issue for you, just use a can of diced tomatoes. Now I'm going to add in my jar of navy beans. These are nice and thick. I'm going to add in my jar of Great Northern beans, and I'm not going to drain them. The reason I'm not draining them is because there's nutrition and flavor in the canning liquid, and it will add a richness to my white bean chili. All right. Now then, the next thing to add in is my home canned chicken broth. Now we're just going to let this simmer. I've got it on, I'm going to turn it up to high so that it starts to boil again, and then I'm going to turn it down low. And each time I stir it, I will help break up some of these larger tomatoes. I've given this soup a quick taste while it's coming up to the boil. And I've decided it needs a little more chili powder. And I'm going to add a little bit of cumin in as well. Okie doke, our soup is done. See what you think. This is actually simmered for about 20 minutes. Now, I want you to know you don't have to use exactly, oh look, there's chicken. You don't have to use exactly these ingredients. You can use other ingredients. You don't have to use chicken. You don't have to use meat at all. There's some good protein in these beans. So just what do you have? What do you have in the house that you can actually stretch the ingredients you have and not just feed yourself alone or just have one meal, but you can have, you can feed other people as well. Okay, I put some of this in a dish. I want you to see. This is just a little soup dish. Actually, this is a restaurant dish. Back in the day, if you went into a cafe and you asked for a cup of soup, let's say, I'd like a cup of soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. Guess what? This was the cup they brought your soup in. And it was a cup of soup, which probably cost about, I don't know, 35, 50 cents. And there was a difference between a bowl of soup and a cup of soup. Okay, I'm going to give this soup a taste. It smells really good. I did taste it while it was cooking for seasoning. So, it's very hot. Do you like to eat your soup with a big spoon or just a regular spoon? I like a tablespoon. Because, you know, I'm a delicate flower and stuff. It's really good. I think I need a little more salt in mine. I know, you're shocked, right? I can taste the chicken. The vegetables, the beans are good. They're creamy. Now listen, if you don't have home canned beans, just use cans from the store. I bet you've got some cans of beans in your house from the store. Just use them. Use whatever you have. And believe me, you can turn it into soup. You really can. And it doesn't have to be white bean chili. It can be something else. You can use these same ingredients, only just put Italian seasoning in them. And guess what? If you don't have any of that, just put salt and pepper if you have that. That's good enough. So good. Now, I'm going to take this soup that's in the kettle, and I'm going to store it in some mason jars. Pop it in the refrigerator. I'm going to put it in the jars while it's hot, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator after it cools off. And I'm going to have soup for the week. I have enough soup to eat, and I have enough soup to share with one piece of chicken. I pre-weighed that chicken. That chicken weighed around 7 ounces. And keep in mind, it's pre-frozen. So they use things like broth and ice and things like that. which causes the chicken to weigh a bit more. So that's pre-cooked weight. So I'm guessing probably about 6 ounces of chicken went into this soup. We can do this. We really can. Don't let anxiety get the best of you. Learn what you can. Learn from others. I hope, if nothing else, Simple Food, Simple Life teaches you that you can do this. I have faith in you. I know that you can. And sometimes it may seem like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but you can do a lot with scraps. I'm proof of it. I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it since I was about 16 years old. And we know that was a long time ago. All right. I love you guys. You know I do. And as always, you know that little is much when God is in it. Okay? That's not just a tagline. I mean it. Little is much when God is in it. Okay? I love you. You take care of yourself and learn something new today. Okay? All right. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.